Hey there, Giant fans of fun. My name's Thad, the Theme Park Giant, and I'm an avid theme park and roller coaster enthusiast. I've traveled the world, I've ridden over 550 different roller coasters, and I'm bringing some different perspective to it since I'm 6'5" and I'm 275 pounds now. I've lost over 170 pounds the last decade, so I've done a lot of walk of shames on different companies' coasters, and I know all the details that you'll need to know if you're a larger rider in order to be able to ride them. Since I've done all the research and I've traveled all around and I've been booted off of numerous different companies' coasters over the years, I decided to create the Theme Park Giant Big and Tall Ride Guide. I'm starting with the Central Florida parks, SeaWorld in particular, and we're gonna branch out from there. But if you have any anxiety about will I fit on rides, this is your go-to guide. Mako is the B&M hypercoaster at SeaWorld in Orlando, which means it's at least 200 feet tall. Mako just happens to be exactly 200 feet tall, dropping riders at speeds up to 73 miles an hour and at a 70-degree angle. The ride is themed to the Mako shark, which is the fastest shark in the world. This ride is loaded with airtime, aka negative G's, which will have you flying up out of your seat with that weightless feeling. Mako is fast, intense, smooth, and just plain fun. As with any of the larger B&Ms, the minimum height requirement is going to be 54 inches on Mako. And of course, Mako has a test seat as well. This is a very different seat than what we've seen from the other B&Ms so far here at SeaWorld. Their hyper coasters have a little different restraint. It's the same bucket seats that we're used to here. So your narrow hips, big thighs, big butt might be an issue on this for getting deep enough in. But these are a little different. I still think like the 52-inch around in your waist is an issue for these, but what I think the biggest issue on the B&M Hypers is thigh size, hip size, and your butt, because the clamshell restraint comes down right on top of your thighs. I used to struggle with these. These were probably one of the worst rides for me because I always had really big thighs. I couldn't ride them for years. Now I can do them no issue. But one other thing to note with these, you see this red piece of tape sticking out. If you see that, that means you're okay. Pretty much every B&M Hyper I've ever seen has some sort of piece of tape that identifies it. Now, depending on the park chain, the Hypers will be set to either be 2 clicks for that to show up or 3 clicks for it to show up. SeaWorld is a 2-click. All right, so I am seated, and I can tell you immediately sitting down in this, I can feel that they're a little more narrow than like the other B&Ms that SeaWorld has, so Manta, Kraken. So I think that is why like larger hips struggle with these a little more, and the thighs. But now that we're all the way back in the seat, we can bring the restraint down. And then as you can see, I've got the red tape sticking out, so I am good to go. And I will say, now that these are actually okay for me to ride, I think they're one of the best and most comfortable restraints out there. I know people that probably don't agree, and when I had bigger thighs, I did think they hurt quite a bit, but now that I'm a little smaller giant, I really do love the clamshell design. It's super comfortable, and you get a ton of air time, especially on Mako. Mako is another tough ride to get off-ride footage of here at SeaWorld, because like Kraken, it is off in some areas where guests really can't access it too easily. You can just barely see Mako going down its drop. up into its first turn. This part over the water is incredible. The airtime, so good. This ride's so smooth. It's intense, but not overly intense, so you can just ride it and ride it and ride it. That's always my issue with things like Iron Gwazi at Busch Gardens. They're just so intense, especially if you're a bigger, my thighs just get destroyed on them. Where this, I could ride it all day long. Says we're good.
Stand platform. Platform is clear.
So we have the red tape here. Red tape's good. Here we go. And my favorite seat, back row, right side. 200 feet. We're gonna get dropped straight down. I love this ride so much. Probably my second favorite roller coaster in Florida right now, just behind Velocicoaster. Could ride this thing all day long. Pure airtime. Here we go. That's such a good ride. Oh my God. It's my favorite B&M Hyper. Love it. All right. All right, giant fans of fun. That is going to do it for Mako. Hopefully I answered all your questions about rider size, the seats, etc. If you have any other questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comments section. I'm happy to answer any other questions you might have about Mako. Thanks for watching, and make sure you get out there and have a giant day of fun.